Hello, everybody. A warm welcome to Wisdom from North, the place for accelerated inner growth and empowerment. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a place where we are discussing everything within spirituality, personal development, awakening, self-empowerment, and so much more. And today you're going to meet the lovely Lizete Morais. She's a best-selling author. She's a life transformative coach. She is the founder and the creator of Arise Life Transformative System. She's a retreat leader and the author of the beautiful book, Arise to Love, the roadmap to navigate the sacred twin flame journey. And that's what we're going to speak about today. Twin flames, this new template of love and what it has to teach us. Now, let's dive into it. Hi, Lizete. How are you doing today? Welcome.
Thank you so much, Yannick. I'm doing great and so lovely to be here with you.
I'm so excited about this. And we tried to record yesterday and we had some technical issues because you're in this exotic place. And we hope that the divine, technical gods are with us today because I feel that this is an important topic. We're going to speak about twin flames today, and you wrote this amazing, beautiful book, Arise to Love. And even though we might not all of us be in a twin flame relationship, I just felt that it was such a deep spiritual teaching that I got a lot out of it and learned so much about myself and relationships. So just want to say that. Thank you for your beautiful book.
Oh, thank you. You're so welcome. What wonderful words. Thank you, love. It's amazing to be received.
Yeah, I can imagine. So take us through, why did you write this?
I really think it's just time, Yannicka. It's time for all of us to experience that deep love, that partnership, that support, that dance that our soul longs for. So many of us long for that. Even when we in relationship or not in relationship, there tends to be this longing of wanting to share our human experience. And so we crave for these relationships, but so often it just doesn't work out as we want, at least long term. So that's why. And, as we transition into the unity consciousness, we hear all the time of we coming into the new era and it's time of unity, not discussing the unity between man and woman and harmonious union in the home is so fundamental, is so foundational for our well-being and our mission in life.
And you're also saying that this is the new temple for love, or template for love.
Template.
Could be temple as well, but new template.
Could be. Yeah, beautiful play on it.
New temple for love,
Yes.
and that we're wakening up to now. So it's sort of a new form of love. What do you mean by that?
So the old template, if we look at what is not working, it makes sense what the new template is. And one of the biggest issues in the old template is so if we sum it up, it's more like, you complete me. We're waiting for that partner to you complete me. And we've kind of awakened that template does not work. It's based on codependency. It's based on, I'm giving you my power so you can decide if I'm going to be happy today or not. So we know that doesn't work. And I would say that the twin flame template, on its very foundation, cannot function in codependency. It has to, for there to be harmony between two twins, there has to be absolute wholeness in each. And so the difference between one template and the other is, in one we thought we were two halves looking for our other half so we could be whole. In the new template is we are two whole beings that learn to dance together in absolute perfect union. And it's a very, very different template.
And is this sort of a phenomena that is happening especially right now, that more twin flames are coming together or meeting each other in this time?
Absolutely. So, because we are accelerating in our ascension, if you will, so we're bringing literally 5D energies onto the earth, and the fifth dimension is here. The dimension of oneness, the dimension of harmonious union is already here. We can tap into 5D, but we have been so programmed in the 3D of the other, of he's the right guy, he's the wrong guy. So the twin flames are coming together now more than ever, because it is so imperative to anchor these energies onto our planet. And that is really for the divine masculine to come into wholeness, for the divine feminine to come into wholeness, and learn to once again, in their full power, dance together. Not one is more advanced than the other, and one is spiritual, one is sleeping. So that is actually what twin flames are here to do. And it's about love, it's about sacred sexuality, it's about relationship, and how that molds together.
Yes, because you were saying that this is actually fifth dimensional love. I thought that was like
Yes.
found.
And to really put that in layman terms, because it can sound so, I tend to love to bring it back to basics and back to practical, because I teach human beings that are aware of their souls very often. So one way that we can think about that is, we're in 3D, we are very sexually attracted, emotionally attracted, mentally attracted. 5D is about a soul attraction. It is the soul recognizing the other. So we, in other relationships, I'd meet somebody and they were interesting, and we would see if it works or it doesn't work. The twin flame is more that you recognize the other. You know this person. And we experience that in other relationships, but twin flame is quite specific.
And let's go into that, like to get the record straight. What is a twin flame relationship? And what is the difference between a soulmate relationship, perhaps a karmic relationship, and then a twin soul relationship? Is say twin souls and twin flames are the same? So I'm curious to hear your, take on these different terms from your perspective.
So the easiest way that I could share this with you, that is really clear, is I've noticed that in my journey of life, in my spiritual journey of wholeness or the journey of ascension, my intimate partner was always a direct reflection of where I was in my consciousness. So when I was, for example, 17, 18, when I thought my real value was in how attractive I was, how amazing my body was, I attracted what we call a karmic, and he was only interested in our sexual connection. He wasn't interested in my soul, didn't want anything to do with my spiritual quest, So that the comics come to kind of break us open in many ways. Right? It's never meant to work. And I wish someone had told me this, because then we wouldn't fight so hard to keep these relationships that really are not meant to work. What that beautiful relationship triggered for me was the understanding that I could not love someone more than I loved myself, because it would create destruction. So I learned that very early on, very grateful to my karmic. But the karmic is here to teach us a lesson. Then the soulmate came along, and my soulmate I married, and I was with him for 15 years. And basically a soulmate means that it is a soul from your soul group. So there is a level of recognition, there is a level of we belong, but they are not they're not your twin. It's quite different. So the soulmate, it builds, they're very complementary in one way, but they can't meet you fully. So in many soulmate relationships that I found, it's like, it's great, it's comfortable, it can be very comforting, but it tends to run its course once you've achieved a certain level of wholeness. And then my twin is literally the other part of my soul. So we are one oversoul that upon our creation we're split into. Now, I didn't believe any of this, and I start the book
I
saying,
know you said that. That was so interesting. Like you didn't buy that idea
I
at
didn't,
all.
I didn't. buy it at all. When I had never even heard of twin flames. I'm on my spiritual journey 20 years. I've been teaching for 10 years. I had never come across the phenomenon of twin flames, twin souls. It meant nothing to me. And I was teaching wholeness. And the one thing that I believed in everything was there is no other part of me. I'm it. I am whole. I am one, right? And I am this sovereign creator of my experience. And then I met him. I met my twin. And it is the kind of love that it transcends it transcends all kinds of other love in my experience, because this is not someone that's like you. This is your partner that has always been him. So literally within 3 days of our reconnection, Neil put it so beautifully. He said, I know I have loved you my entire life. I just didn't know it was you. So there is a longing for each other. There is a searching for each other. And when we see each other, there's no question. We know. We know.
Still, I would love to dive deeper. I loved, I loved everything you shared here. It's just so fascinating. How does it feel different with past relationships? Because I assume you've been in love before. I've been in love so many times, and hearing you speak, I feel like I haven't met my twin. But I'm not totally sure. I think I haven't, but it all depends how you define it. So I'm curious to hear more about how it feels different, like the signs that it is flame.
Beautiful. So one of the big signs is, and all twins that I've ever spoken to will know this, is that it just feels like home. It feels like you've been out on this quest for ages on your own, knowing and sensing that there is someone out there. And when you meet them, it really feels like home. When twin flames come together in divine timing, and they can't, if they, so divine timing is a big element of this journey. When they come together, they feel the same about each other. There's no convincing the other, I'm the right one for you. So there is a deep knowing in both partners that it's always been you. And every relationship I've had before was preparation, lessons, valuable, beautiful, important lessons, so that I could be prepared for my twin. Another big difference is the intensity of it, because twins are identical in a lot of different things. So like Neil and I, we love the same. There's so many pieces that are exactly identical, and then there's other pieces that are exactly the opposite, so polarized opposites. And what I love about the dance is that when it's the same and it flows, it's beautiful. And our job as unconditional love partners is to learn how to end polarity within us. So for example, he is an ex-military man, planner, a warrior. He wants everything done in a certain way. I'm an artist, a free soul. I'm spontaneous. I'm always late. So I would, and these are the kind of things that could drive them crazy, but it's about me bringing joy and spontaneity in his life, and him bringing structure and sustainability into mine. And when we can learn to dance with our polarities, they are our greatest teacher. So it really is about growing in who we are.
And you're also saying, you talked about divine timing, that we can't force this. Can you speak a bit more about that? Because, there are a lot of love courses, manifest this, manifest your dream partner. But is this, I just feel this is different, perhaps, that you cannot really, it just have to happen. And when the time is right.
So there is a caveat about twin flame love, which is, it is that ultimate deep romantic love most of the time. There's some twins that don't have a romantic connection. Neil and I do, and those are the ones that we are here to support. But if we meet our twin, so let me put it this way. The caveat is that the twin flame journey is truly about your growth. So if we are not ready to deal with us and the fullness of us, because our twin is going to be the best person on the planet to be able to know exactly which button to push. He's going to be the perfect mirror to show you every fear that you've ever had. So if, for example, I had a huge fear of losing love, and this fear of losing love had kind of dominated me my whole life, so like I'd be extra nice to you so I wouldn't have to lose you. And I started to work on that fear and I started to lose that fear. But if that fear was still in my field, Neil would constantly say, every time we'd argue, he would come to the point of say, yeah, it's not going to work, sorry. And I would have the sensation I'm losing him. Now, it's impossible to lose your twin, ever. And in the soul level, you are always in union. But that would be the pain that would come up. So I would say if you are not ready, and the divine knows and the soul knows, it's too intense, basically. So it has to be in divine timing.
Right, because I'm kind of curious. This is a bit personal, but I'll share. I'm comfortable with it. I was curious, do I really want this? Or would I actually want a soulmate relationship that was smooth? Like, because when I read your book, there's a lot of work there. There is some drama as well. Like, you're also saying that a twin can start a dark night in you. And to be honest, that I've been in my depression, I've been in my dark night. I want to have like a smooth, nice relationship. I don't know if I want to experience this. What are your perspectives on that?
I would say, and this is the beauty, we do have free will, absolutely. And it's also important to say that there is a distinction between souls that are twin souls. So by their own creation, by their DNA, by who they are as souls, they are twin souls. And as twin souls, they will constantly crave their twin. And when they find them, there's no real choice. I never felt that, and this is also the big distinction between twins and a normal relationship. A normal relationship doesn't work. You walk away and you get over it. And I knew there wasn't really a choice. So for me, my twin flame relationship was basically the universe, God, source, love, whichever way you want to call that. This was my carrot and stick to kind of really deal with the underbelly issues that I could otherwise manipulate myself out of. I had done a lot of work on myself. I thought I really was there, and I was done. And in many ways, as a guide for others, as a transformer, as a teacher of consciousness, I had done a lot of work. So it's not diminishing that. It's just that almost the theory was put into practice. And it was, do you really trust the universe? Really? Even if we take away the one that you think you need to be happy, where is this need still in your field? You see? So do we want our twin? I would say if you're a twin soul, of course you want it. If you're not a twin soul, then...
Right. That leads me over to the next question. So we don't all have a twin soul?
We don't really know. I can't give a yes or no on that because we don't really know, but I also know in one way it's not really important. And why do I say that? Because we are all here on very unique journeys. There are certain people that are called to the twin flame journey. And it's basically the universe using love to be the ultimate purifier of their soul, to call them into mission to be all that they can be. For some people, the universe is using career. Mm-hmm. For others, it's using their bodies, problems in their bodies, allergies, disease, whatever it is. So we are all on our unique path to expand and express our soul. And twin flames, they've chosen love. They've chosen this deep, intimate partnership to play that out.
Yeah, that resonated with me, and it's an adventure in a way, because then I don't know. Maybe I have a twin, maybe I don't. Trusting your own unique journey and see,
Yes.
yeah, I love that. Instead of being,
Yes.
I have to find my twin, maybe you don't, that's not your journey. Yeah,
Right.
love that.
Right. It's really not about that. And again, a lot of people, if they need to find their twin, they're already making the number one mistake of the twin flame journey. They are already needing something outside of themselves for themselves to be whole. And that is the biggest mistake twin flames can do.
Right.
Because, right, we need to be in wholeness for this harmonious union to occur.
So wholeness to me, that seems so big to me, becoming whole. Like we, in a sense, we are whole, if you look at it from one perspective, and then we are also working on becoming whole, because
Yes.
we have, lived this life as a human and so many lives. So to me, there is no end goal in becoming whole because we will always expand in a sense. So, what is your perspective on what wholeness actually is in this incarnation, or maybe
Yes.
we're working on it on many incarnations? I don't know. Yeah. What are you?
I love your question. So, this book is truly about wholeness in the context of twin flames.
Mm.
And wholeness for me has been the journey. And I've actually called my company Live, Love, and Lead from Wholeness because I have the twin flame body of work. I have my leadership body of work. I was a female leader in corporate for so long, and I still do executive coaching for leaders. And then there's this live part, which is soul based. So, wholeness for me, the amazing thing about wholeness is available right now. It is an energy, and it's actually grounded in nature. Nature is whole, for example. So when we are in nature, the reason that that feels so good, the reason I live in the jungle, for example, and I bring my clients here to immerse with me in nature is because nature in itself is whole. So wholeness is everywhere in every moment if we choose to go into it. And wholeness became extremely important to me because in my journey, I'd hear a lot of teachers talk about oneness. And I realized that as a human being in part, right, because I'm a soul in part and a human being in part, my human could not capture oneness until it started embracing wholeness. So wholeness for me is about my state and my relationship, starting with myself and then with everything else. And in the body of work I've created around wholeness, I focus on self-love mastery. So for many of us, we know that that is really the beginning. That's self-love mastery. In the way I define self-love mastery for me is about mastering the ability to be the love that the self is. So let me say that again. It actually is not about loving me. It's about, it can start that way, but it is about being the love that my true self actually is all of the time.
Beautiful.
Right? So learning how to do that. And then there's the soul alignment piece, which is all of us are divine beings. And many of us are aware of that I have a soul and my soul gives me some guidance some of the times and sends me these synchronistic little gifts. But soul alignment for me is actually embodiment of that soul. So I am a soul right now. And where am I living from my soul versus where am I living from ego? As much as I love ego too. That's a different conversation. And then there's the piece where we need to clear old templates, old structures, belief systems. So everywhere my human has had trauma, has chosen limitation, is not in alignment with the truth of love and of soul, that is the work that I must do. So yes, there's a journey, but it really is, and that's the exciting thing for me, is the technology is there, the framework is there, the process is there. Wholeness is not a far off thing. It is something I can embody and be right now.
Beautiful. And you have a process that's called Arise, which is an acronym. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So if we look at wholeness on the top and giving that visual for people, if we talk about wholeness on the top and we think of, so there's soul alignment, there's I've got to deal with my human baggage, And actually, I have to operate through love because love is actually the essence of my being. The process started coming to me like, how do we actually apply this? What is actually going on? And I came to Arise as a 5-step process. And I've applied this in one-on-ones, in retreats, and in groups. And when we get this as a roadmap, we start understanding what life is actually doing. Life is good. Life is loving. Life is always serving us. But it starts with awakening. So that's the A. We need to awaken that we are a soul, that we are love itself. And then I'm thinking probably the best way to explain it is an example. So let me say, I'm afraid of losing love, and I feel unworthy of having love. When we awaken, right? So maybe that's a really great example, so we can walk through how this happens. So what I would do with someone like that, if they would come with me, and that's what they will get in the book as well, so they can see how to use that process. They need to awaken first that love is actually all they are. The reason that they desire it so much is because that's what they are. Love is much closer than it may appear. They can't be more worthy than that. So awakening that we have a soul and this desire is not some crazy idea. It actually is a call of our heart to be who we are. Then we need to remember. I need to remember where this was forgotten or broken or lost, because as a child, I knew I was worthy of love. It wasn't even a question, right? It's not even a question. When you look at a 2-year-old, they're the king of the universe, right? They know that they deserve all attention, all praise, all love. And they are just open, curious, incredibly fascinated with life and everything in it. So we somehow lost that. When we call the loss of innocence, it normally happens in the smallest little moment, So in my work, the remember piece is actually about pinpointing in consciousness when that belief was broken. And normally it's in ages between 2 to 7, most of the time, the biggest ones. When we can remember that, and we can remember the truth, now we must integrate. So this is the clearing work or the healing work or the restoring work. Because I have a neuroscience background and a spiritual intuitive background, I work on mind, heart, soul, energy, and body. 5 levels. A lot of healing is incomplete because they don't take it on all 5 levels. So I might heal my thinking, but if it's somewhere in my energetic field, it's going to keep repeating, right? Yeah. So we need to clear it from the very root. Then we surrender. So we notice when our integration work is done, because surrender is natural. When I'm ready to let it go and I've seen the truth, I could never be afraid of losing love, because love is all that I am. Where is love going? Yes, there might be a person that chooses to distance themselves from me, but I can continue to love them. Yes? I will not lose anything. It simply means my contract with you is done. And now with open curiosity, what's coming next? I can't wait. So when we move into the surrender piece, what happens then? And we can navigate through life knowing this new truth. Now we emerge, which is the E. We emerge as a higher, more expanded, more expressive being of love that we actually really are.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for explaining that. Much sense. I also have a and it starts with awakening.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, because I felt sometimes we feel like awakening is the end point, but I think that's just the beginning. That we're just
it's just the beginning. Yes. And what's so beautiful about it, as we emerge, we awaken to yet another thing. So
right.
it's a spiral growth, right?
And I think you said in the book that we have small awakenings all the time, actually.
All the time. Yes, all the time. And there's every opportunity every day for an awakening, for yet another awakening. And that's what's so beautiful in twin flame connections, where so many people see twin flames trigger each other. So I talk about in the book the role that our twin plays for us as being this person. So if in my union, for example, I share that also in the book, some of my biggest stuff was abandonment. So I'm going to be left behind. I'm going to lose this love. And so, of course, it kept on repeating and it kept on repeating. And if we understand, wow, this is again just to check in, where am I? Let me awaken to yet another element of this piece. Let me remember, let me heal, let me surrender. Okay, let me go back and check, where am I? And he's going to trigger me again on something else. So it's a constant awakening to yet another part of me that got lost and that I need to love back into wholeness. This is my job. And a lot of people, instead of understanding that's what the twin is doing, they're taking offense that he's being a jerk, for example. And that's often not what's happening.
Yeah, and I fully understand that because, it feels so personal and it's just such a human way of reacting. And then it's so
Yes.
good to have guidance, understanding really the dynamic, having some knowledge around it, I think, to have, like you're saying, your book is a roadmap for twin flames, which is just really needed for people in, union. So twin flames, do you think what is most common? Are they sticking together or does it come so challenging sometimes that some split actually?
So many twin flames split. And actually, I've seen an increase in teachers saying and posing that twin flames is only to instigate and to initiate the spiritual journey of ascension. And that absolutely breaks my heart because they kind of putting soulmate love now as the highest kind of love. And there is no high. There is. You felt that, right? And I get what they're doing, but for me, that has not been the truth of my journey, because I've seen that this journey is so much more than about getting the guy. It is about utilizing our partnership. Like in Holy Scripture, it talks about iron sharpening iron, and iron sharpens iron. And yes, sometimes it's going to be hard for you to be sharpened in that way, but it is the accelerated roadmap to becoming who you truly are. Now, because of free will, my twin can choose not to grow. And he can choose to stay in his pain, and he can choose to stay in self-destructive behavior or toxic behavior. And in that, I need to be able to step away and love him anyway, but from a safe distance. Okay? But the goal is for twins ultimately to come together. That is the whole point. We need to come together because if you can imagine, if we are two parts of an oversoul and we come together and fuse and step into mission, we become very, very powerful. Because we are the embodiment of unconditional love, loving ourselves and loving each other.
That makes sense. And then also perhaps, yeah, like you said, your purpose becomes like stronger as well. Like when you come together and you probably each have a purpose and then you come together, it's even more magnified.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And twin flames will have a purpose. So just the fact that they are together and they are working out energies. So discord between the masculine and feminine energies and discords within themselves, and they're working that out, that already is a sacred journey. And they're already doing a great service for themselves and for the collective.
Can it also,
sorry. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, huh?
Can it also be female, female, male, male?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So it really is a soul connection, and the outside, the form we've taken, will just be another part of the lesson. So some twins look very similar, like Neil and I, we look like we family. We don't look like brother and sister, but we look pretty, we look like we belong together. But some twins, they can look exactly the opposite. So there's no straight and fast rule. with that. Every twin connection is unique, but they all feel a calling, a higher calling for um, to improve the earth and to improve how relationships take place.
Mm.
So they have a very sovereign call, if you will. And for us, I've noticed that we've both been on our journeys individually preparing for now. So whereas Neil has been very physical, very connected to nature, very interested in permaculture, very interested in sustainable living, I have been interested in the well-being of our minds, of our hearts, of our souls. Not so much in the way of living, but who am I being on the inside? When we started coming together,
Mm.
the greater whole became something quite magnificent. So as we embody the new template of relationship and we embody the new template of how do we live a sustainable way in harmony with nature, a regenerative type of lifestyle, all twins are here to be a model.
Mm. Makes sense.
That being said, there's the twin flames, and then there is the twin flame energy. So what's so exciting about this is that anyone can experience a deep connected soul connection, because
Oh,
twin flames are not the only couples that are going to have this love. They are the pioneers. They are the way showers. But the intention is to bring this template for everybody.
that was interesting. So even though we might not meet our twin flame, we can actually open up for this energy with the partner.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Fascinating. Back to the twin flame. Is this, will you meet each other again and again in incarnations? I don't know if you know anything about this. I'm just thinking about the whole soul journey. Or is it like, every 1,000 years you meet?
So I don't know. And when I get upstairs, I am for sure gonna get debriefed on that question. Like, so what's been happening? I actually haven't been led at all to investigate past lives.
Hmm.
I do know, and I haven't, because I understood in my researching and revelation about time that past lives are actually all here right now. So I didn't really need to go into the drama of, yeah, I was put in prison or I was, burned as a witch, although I'm sure that probably happened. I didn't really need to go into any of that, because I knew all trauma, all blocks, all energy patterns were already present in my spiritual DNA right now. So all the work is right here. The other side of that is, I know that, I mean, the sense that I had with Neil was that I've known him forever. So since I exist, we are together because we are one. But we have been split into 2 incarnations. So I don't know how many lifetimes we've had, or how, if we play different roles for each other, or if I've heard it said that most times one twin will stay in the etheric realms as a
Yeah,
soul, and the other will incarnate, and they will help each other from that perspective.
I heard.
But they are actually always together.
Hmm. Fascinating. Yeah, I'm also
This is
of the impression or assumption that everything happens now. So the past lives are happening now. So the work we're doing now is helping the other incarnations in all other places
absolute.
in the multiverse.
Yes.
I just
Yes.
clarify one thing. You're saying that, yes, you are whole and complete, and you meet your twin, and the twin is whole and complete in itself. Would you say then, I find a paradox when you then long for your twin when you're whole and complete in yourself. And I know spirituality is full of paradoxes. I just wanted to ask you. So, yeah, your thoughts on that.
And I love the paradoxes. Like, that for me is the juice, right? And it is a paradox, because we are whole and we actually don't need in the traditional sense. So it's not need financially, so I've noticed with twins, it's very important that each twin is very powerful on their own. And most twins are, you know, so they'll have their careers, they'll have their own personalities. And although we might not need, for me, I've always known that it doesn't really matter how successful I become or how many books or how much I do. If I personally don't have someone to come home to and share that experience with, it's not going to mean the same. So as human beings, we naturally crave connection. So even though we are whole, we want our divine counterpart to be our companion on this journey, you know? But the more whole we are, the less demanding, the less naggy, the less we will put pressure on our twin to be anything for us. So we can meet them unconditionally. And that is the new template. Is like, can I love you unconditionally?
That makes sense. Like,
And the more I need, the less unconditional it becomes, you see.
yes. So, do you think for all those who are single out there that if you long for someone, that companionship, and you're single,
Yes,
that there is someone for you?
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. And, you know, it's yes, yes, yes. And I have learned that our longing, our soul's desire, is our soul's way of telling us what is in petto for us. Is the soul's way of promising us what is coming, you know? Then the question becomes, okay, great. I know it's coming. How deeply do I trust that and let it go and allow it to happen? So one of the things of love is we must give up control. This was one of the hardest pieces. And especially with Neil as an alpha male, I cannot control this man. I can't make him do anything. And I realized that he's only going to do what he wants to do. And now I love that because I wouldn't want anything less. Why would I want anything from him that's born out of manipulation or you have to or pressure or commitment, you know? So when he does take my hand or he does want to take me on a romantic whatever, it's purely because he wants to, because he can't help himself, because it's real, you know? And we want to come to that place of such trust in the universe, such trust in our souls, and such letting go of control that we can allow that love to pour into our life.
Beautiful. I think we will end it there. That was just such a nice place to end. And for all those single out there, they can perhaps contact you. Can you just speak a little bit about the work you're doing besides from the book you've written?
So one of the things I'm super excited about is actually bringing Arise online. So I've normally taken one-on-one clients in immersive retreats to work through their core blocks. I'm actually putting together an online program where we do that in a 3-part masterclass. So it's called the 8 Keys of Soul Alignment, where we're really going to dive deep in what is the soul, who am I on a soul level, and where can I pinpoint the 8 points of separation between who my human is being and who my soul is being, so I can actually know the work. Many people say do your work, but very few people will tell you what the work actually is. So that's one part. And then Arise is really the journey to say, now I know these 4 keys. These are the 4 keys I'm working on. And now I have a process to actually navigate through them and explore and heal through my wounds. So that's coming. And of course, on my website, people can contact me for, for a get acquainted call for me to meet them and see what is happening. I mean, when I wrote this book, I knew, because Neil and I know the pain and the passion and the profound purpose of twin flames, for example, I was very keen on working with twin flames like us, but on not finding harmony, are struggling. Because when you struggle, when you love someone that deeply and you struggle, it's extremely painful. So getting them unblocked, getting them out of this drama dynamic of blaming and projecting the other, but rather getting the empowerment of, hang on, this is why it's hurting me. Let me heal me and then come and dance again with my twin. So whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, whether you found your twin flame or not, if you have that longing for that love, I'm here to say it really starts with you. And you are all you need. And once you get into this work, then you can dance with the other in a whole new way.
So lovely. And buddy, you can find the links below in the video description, and the book. I can highly recommend it. Even though if you're single like me, I just got a lot out of it because, like you're saying, it's all about us. It starts with us. So I just want to thank you for doing this beautiful work and being of such support, because you are sharing really bravely in the book. And I think it helps and heals so many people that really need this, that really needs this roadmap. And now you provided that. So thank you for your bravery and yeah, your bravery. Also meeting your twin, doing the work.
And doing the work. And you know, just I truly, a week before publishing date, Janneke, I'll be honest with you and all these amazing people that are listening, I honestly thought, what on earth am I doing? This is the most sacred of relationships. It is the most personal of issues that I had to face. Why would I put it in a book and give it to strangers to read? Have I lost my nut? I honestly thought I'd lost it. And then I remembered the pain and wishing when I'm in it, and I know he loves me and I know I love him more than anything, but somehow it doesn't work and I don't get why. When I remember that pain, I said, they've just gotta, this is for them. This is for them. And also the encouragement of, you can get through it. You can come into sacred union. You can have that love, that potential that you feel is there. You can have that. And it's not that we'll never argue. It's not that we never disagree. But the partnership and the love that your soul desires, it's there. And this is the roadmap.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lizete, and all the best.
Thank you, Janneke.
For work.
Thank
And thank you for watching, everybody. Much light from here. Bye-bye.